Welcome to the Busy to Balance podcast. I am your host, Jamie Zweer, and I'm the founder of Oh How Healthy. This podcast is all about how to show you, the overworked, overwhelmed, and occasionally unhealthy woman, how to find health and balance in all different areas of your life. I will share with you digestible, bite-sized bits of info on everything from balancing a healthy plate to keeping a healthy home and everything in between. Now listen, I know that you are busy, and that is why I will keep these episodes short, sweet, and to the point. Now let's dive into today's episode. Hey everyone, welcome to the Busy to Balance podcast. Welcome back to everyone who is a regular listener, and welcome to all my new friends that are listening. My name is Jamie Zweer, and I am a health coach, and I'm really excited to have you here. I hope that you get a lot out of the podcast and this episode and all of the episodes. It really means a lot to me that I'm in your ear right now when you could be listening to a lot of different people and doing a lot of different things, so I genuinely appreciate that. So today's podcast is an interview with Kim Oberg, and she is the owner of the Grant Building. And Kim and I connected. We are local Collingswood business owners, so we connected at a business builder meeting, and we noticed we were similar ages. We were kind of the only two younger people in the group, so we instantly kind of connected, and from then we met over coffee for a few times, and I invited her on the podcast because I seen that she's like killing it. She's like doing so many different things. She opened this new building. She's just running things. So I was like, I have to have you on the podcast. I would love to pick your brain and learn how you're managing everything and balancing it all. So in this podcast, we dive into goal setting and boundaries and saying no to things we don't want to do, and how to say yes to things we want to do, how to find the time, how to find the energy, all of that fun stuff. It's a juicy episode, so I really hope you enjoy this episode. Let's dive in. Welcome, Kim. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. So we were just chatting. We probably should have pressed record this whole time.
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
We could have pressed record like an hour ago.
Yeah. We literally been sitting here. Well, now on the floor. We traveled from the seats onto the floor, and so that the microphone picks us both up. Either way, it was for an hour long now.
Yeah.
So, Kim, I'm really excited to have you here, first of all, because I think that first of all, you have it going on with your studio. Kim owns Upcycle in Collingswood, so from the area,
Grant Building now.
The Grant Building. I'm sorry, the Grant Building. But a lot of people know Upcycle and Yoga Wood, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if you're from the area, it's very well known.
Yeah.
And then,
hopefully.
In addition to that, tell everyone what else you have. Like, you have the juice bar, you have all sorts of fun stuff.
So we just rebranded. So everything's under the Grant Building now. So there's a smoothie bar, cycling studio, yoga studio. We just added a full bar schedule also. Yeah. And there's a massage space that I rent out to Krista Sassani, who goes by the name Krista Clear.
Krista Clear, it's on the window.
Yeah.
Krista Clear.
Yeah.
So I also wanted to have you on because you have a lot going on. Like, that's a lot.
It is, yeah.
And also, we're almost the same age because I'm not 30 yet, but I'm going to be 30.
Thanks.
I'm going to be 30.
Thank God I'm not 30 yet.
Well, I'm going to say it for the next 2 days.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, 2 days. I'll be 30 in 2 days.
Yay!
And so...
Well, almost welcome to the club.
Thanks. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
It's real.
So, you're also you've accomplished so much in 30 years.
Yes.
You really have. Like, you were born.
I was
born.
School. Yes, that was a big accomplishment.
So, how do you, like, balance it all in this age group? Like, you have a boyfriend, you have 3 dogs at home.
Yeah.
One I just found out was blind.
Yeah.
And you need to sleep and eat. So how do you find balance?
I do need to do those things.
And you found time to meet with me today for not only an hour, but, like, almost an hour and a half now.
I know, you're in my, like, free time.
Oh, yes.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
No,
So is that one of your techniques? Like, you have, like, you block off time?
Yes.
What is it that you...
Yes. So basically the way that my schedule works now, I have, like, 3 hours in the middle of the day that I kind of block out, and depending what else I do in that day, it's either I schedule meetings or coffee dates or naps.
Yeah.
Because those need to happen too.
Yeah.
Just kind of.
So you block schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is the majority of your day at the studio, at work, or do you...
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wake up at 4:30 in the morning, which takes some getting used to, but it's actually pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
And then I either teach a class at 5:30, or I'm basically at the building between, like, 6 and 7. And then if I teach, then I shower at the building, get ready for my day, and then I work the cafe until, like, 12 or 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Now I sometimes teach classes at 12:30, so those are the days that I work until 12.
Okay.
And then I teach, and then I shower again,
Yeah.
and then go home.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes, most days I feel like I'm also back at the building at, like, 4 or 5 o'clock and kind of helping close the cafe or working in the office.
Yeah.
Depending on how my energy level is at that point. Either I get a bunch of stuff done in the office, or I just kind of, like, walk around and talk to people.
Well, yeah, that's part of the job
Mingle.
too. Yeah. And then your boyfriend Jake works at the studio too?
Yeah, so we actually co-own the cafe. So yeah, we split the time up there. So I work early morning because he is pretty much useless early morning.
And you're the morning person.
He is, he'll even say he's not reliable in the morning, and I'm like, I'm the morning person.
Yeah.
But then I'm completely useless after, like, 5 o'clock. Mm-hmm. So we balance each other out in that way, which is good.
So you're doing half the work, and then he's doing... So that's a great way to get boyfriend time in. Just get him to work, hire him, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, he was working full-time elsewhere before we opened the building. We were going to rent the cafe space out to someone, and that didn't end up working out, and it was, like, a month and a half before we were going to open.
Yeah.
And so I went home one day and I got the news that this other person wasn't going to be opening their business in the building, and I was, like, pacing around the apartment, and Jake comes home and he's like, "What happened?" And I'm like, "We don't have anyone for the juice bar." So, like, I'm trying to figure something out, and just pacing's helping me. And that night we were talking, and I was like, "You can totally say no, but would you want to run the juice bar either with me or on your own or whatever? Like, quit your job, do your own thing." Like, he's always wanted to own his own business, so it ended up working out really well.
Yeah.
And we work really well together. Like, we know each other's strengths and I don't want to say weaknesses, but the things that are not our strengths.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and we communicate pretty well.
So communication is
I don't
key.
want to say really well.
Yeah,
because there's days where we're just like,
yeah. So you kind of need to, instead of, like, trying to find a time to see him, you need to try to find maybe time to
not to see him, but to not be working when I see him. Yeah. So we don't go out that much.
Mm-hmm. No, me neither.
We're very much homebodies. But even, like, my phone goes on do not disturb mode at 7 o'clock.
Okay. So
every
that's a
night.
strong boundary that you like. Boundaries is definitely something that I talk to the girls about.
Yeah.
That because if you were taking phone calls all night long,
which
when would it
totally
stop?
could
Yeah,
be because
exactly.
I mean we have classes at the studio most of the time until 9 o'clock at night. Sometimes like one night a week we have a 9:15 class that goes until 10:15, and I'm like out cold by that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean I can't like I had
can't.
to make myself not available all the time.
Yeah.
And that was a huge lesson for me to learn.
Yeah.
Because I mean I would be on my phone like texting people who were texting me about classes that they wanted to sign up for, and I'm just like no. But it'd be like 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah. I mean, the way that it works for me is like I have to have like office hours, so people know like if you send me a message at 9 p.m. I could very well respond to it, but I've been in that position, and I noticed like earlier today I was saying how I have this headache that is kind of like not going away because it's like nonstop. So you need to find those times and breaks. So if I get that message at 9, it's like you'll know that I'll get back to you between like 6 and 3 the next day or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about boundaries.
Yeah,
and
boundaries are key.
Because if you were to respond, like if someone emails me at 9 o'clock at night and I respond right back, that's like, then they think that that's always going to happen.
Yeah.
And like, that's the expectation then that I immediately get back to people. And I don't want that to be the expectation because I need to have a life where I'm not just like at everyone's beck and call all the time.
And then that's how you're able to find more time in your day because like you said, time blocking and you're setting these boundaries. And also like, do you find that you sometimes agree to do things that or well, I'm sure you've learned because you've made such a success of yourself, but you learn not to do things that are not going to serve you in the long term.
Yes. Yeah. For the most part.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like that's something that I always have to kind of come back to because I'm very much, like, I say yes to so many things because I want to do all of the things.
Yeah, and you want to help. You want to be a nice person.
And then I've just, like, completely overcommitted myself. So... Yeah.
I don't like sometimes I will see my schedule or a week ahead and it will be free and I'll say, I can go to that event that night, Thursday night. Okay, cool. I'm free Wednesday night too. I'll do. And then I'm like, oh, cool. What an awesome productive week it looks like it's going to be. And then when it comes down to it, I'm like, why did I agree to this? Yeah. And so you just can't. And you want to be nice, and you want to attend all these parties and get-togethers, and you want to I always say, let your friend's cat out, but, your friend will find, like...
I know.
You just can't be that to everyone, because then you empty out your cup, and you're not... Unless you make sure that you find that time to prioritize the self-care and...
Right. Which then, like... Yeah. I mean, that takes time, too, so...
Yeah, exactly. So, speaking of self-care, what is self-care for you?
Naps.
Naps, yeah. Because you said every Monday, you're like, you schedule them in, which is super, like, creative. Like,
so Jake and I have a shared calendar, like a Google calendar for the building. Yeah. And it's, I'm going to give away my secrets.
Give it away. Give us it all.
So, I have... in my calendar blocked out for 2 hours. It used to be every afternoon that I had a 2-hour time block for napping, and then I've kind of gotten out of napping every day, and I just do it on days where like I know there's a lot going on or I have to teach at night because like I said, I'm useless after 5 o'clock unless I take a nap. I have it blocked out in the schedule. Kim, nap. Yeah. And if someone comes in asking for me or whatever, like Jake tells them I'm in a meeting.
Yeah, you are in a meeting with yourself and your bed and your dog.
Right, but like he makes it sound
very
really
official.
Like official and important.
Well, now everyone
which it is
know.
Really important.
It is.
But it's like
Yeah, so now when you really are in a meeting and then Jake says you're in a meeting, everyone's going to know. I'm just going to call
they're going to be like, she's sleeping right now. It's like, no, I'm actually in a meeting.
Business. It's official. So the energy, how do you find the energy then? So if you have a class later on in the day, you'll take a nap to get some energy.
Right.
Are you a coffee drinker in the morning?
Yes.
Okay.
So
me too. But it serves its purpose. But
it does.
I like how you shared the story earlier about you got to a certain point with coffee though.
Yes.
Where you were like, okay, I need detox now because it's not doing me any good.
It wasn't doing me any good, and I was getting stomach aches because I wasn't feeling the caffeine from it. Like I wasn't getting energy from it, so I would just keep like pumping coffee into my system.
Yeah.
And I would have the worst stomach aches.
Yeah.
And so I started cutting stuff out of my diet, and like I cut dairy out, and it was still kind of there, and I was like, oh God, I have to cut out coffee. It's happening.
I know.
So I cut it out, and immediately my stomach was like, thank you.
Yeah, I was like, too much acid.
Yeah.
Too
So
much.
I took like a month and a half off from having coffee, and now I pretty much 1 cup a day, if that.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much like mid-morning if I do have it.
Yeah.
Like I can make it until like 11 o'clock.
Because you said waking up and getting moving.
Yeah.
Gives you energy.
Yeah.
Because really, I think about this sometimes when I wake up and I'm like, oh, I want a cup of coffee. But everyone's naturally tired when you wake up.
Yes.
Like, you're not going to wake up and be like...
No one just wakes up and is like, oh my God, I'm so awake.
No, so you just give yourself some time and stop thinking and obsessing about the coffee. Like, it becomes a habit.
Yes.
It's
oh my
just
God,
a
yeah. When I took
Yeah.
that like month and a half off from drinking coffee, I didn't realize, I think I was telling you this a few weeks ago when we met, I was on like autopilot. Anytime I would walk past or drive past a coffee shop, I would immediately go in and just get coffee because like that was a thing that I did.
Yeah.
And so when I wasn't, like the first few days I wasn't drinking coffee, I like drove past a Starbucks at least 3 times, and I had to consciously keep driving because I was like, oh, there's Starbucks, I'm gonna turn in. And I was like,
hilarious.
no, what?
You know what, for me, it's well, first of all, I don't drink coffee for the caffeine buzz. Sometimes I do, sometimes I'm like, I can't even keep my eyes open today.
Yeah.
But it's warm, it's creamy, it's delicious.
And it's like a comfort thing.
Yeah. And also, it's like when in between lunch and dinner or breakfast and lunch and you're kind of hungry, but you don't want to eat.
Well, it's an appetite suppressant, so...
Yeah. It's just something that I am in the habit of going to, so I have to find alternatives. You ever try... Well, you at the shop have the mushroom tea, or the adaptogen tea.
Yeah.
Which is a local company. Because I asked you about Four Sigmatic, but you're like, no, these guys are local.
Yeah,
so
YZ tea.
Yeah. And it was really good. I tried the Focus one.
The chocolate hustle.
Yeah, it was really delicious. And I didn't even have to put anything in it.
Yeah.
It was delicious.
It was good.
Well,
that was kind of, like, I substituted, I was trying to cut out...
Yeah.
I was trying to cut out caffeine.
Yeah.
Which was just crazy. But when I started adding stuff back in... I started with that before I started adding coffee back in.
Yeah, because it has the less caffeine.
Yeah.
But now you're back on the Joe.
I'm back on.
Back on the Joe.
I am back on.
So, but really, you're not going to it first thing in the morning. So you're teaching a lot. You're exerting a lot of energy, and you're taking naps, and you're drinking water. You're doing what you need to do.
Yes.
So sometimes you're just
and
the energy.
Most of the time, if I just like eat something or drink water in the morning, I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's just like
habit.
I don't have anything in my system, so there's nothing waking me up.
Yes, exactly.
So I don't necessarily need coffee. I just need like something.
Yeah, I like being around people in the morning. I noticed that
I don't.
You. We won't tell. We'll cut that part out.
No, I was just telling yesterday. Yeah, yesterday morning I taught my 5:30 a.m. class, and I was like, guys, I get here at 5:15, but like I'm up at like 4:15, 4:30, and I need that time to not talk to people because I used to wake up at like I would like roll out of bed at 5 o'clock, walk down the street, show up at 5:15, and like people would start talking to me, and I'd be like, oh, I can't deal with this right now.
So that's interesting. You're not a morning person, but you...
I'm a morning person after like 20 minutes.
I wake up and I'm like, hey, Jesse, hi.
Oh my God, no.
And he's not. He's like,
no.
I need a minute. I'm like kissing the dog, kissing... I go to the gym, and that's why I like being around the people that are also awake. And
no. I'm not, like, I'm a morning person in the sense that I can be completely functional early in the morning. But I need, like, a good 15 to 20 minutes with no interaction at all before I can...
What do you do when you wake up? Like, for that 15, 20 minutes then?
So... I don't have a routine right now.
No, like, personal self-development, like, personal development stuff? Read a book?
No.
Journal?
So, I listen to music while I'm, like, getting ready.
Okay.
And then I just kind of, like, hang out for 10, 15 minutes just so I can, like, breathe and not have to do anything, and then I'm ready to go.
Yeah, well, I'm sure while you're doing that, you're processing the day, you're focusing a bit.
Yeah.
You're, like, going through your schedule maybe in your head. Yeah. Yeah, that's...
Kinda, sorta.
Yeah, it's like almost like an active kind of meditation where you can't just, like, wake up and go. That's where people set themselves up for failure when, first of all, they wake up and give themselves 10 minutes to get up and get ready. Mm-hmm. And it's that hurried, rushed, frantic pace. Because even though you have to be at the studio early, but you're still giving yourself that extra early time.
Right. Like, I have a little cushion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Because that's, like, I hate... it's the worst when you start your day feeling, like, anxious and, like, rushing already. And, oh, my God, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. So what's the rest of my day going to feel like?
It's a downward spiral. It really is. And you just have to wake up and... I've talked about this before on the podcast, and you wake up almost in this space where you don't really remember, like, we take, like, the anxieties and things of yesterday into the day, and if you just, like, wake up and you set the tone and set the attention, and by giving yourself that extra time in the morning, but to do that, and then it kind of flows a little bit easier instead of just waking up and in that frantic space, and then you're rushing, you're being you forget to do something, you stub your toe getting out of bed, you're losing your car keys, and it's just a downward spiral at that point.
Seriously.
Hey guys, so I want to take a quick break to let you know that the cookbook, Simple Balance Eats, is officially live and on Amazon. And I have to tell you, I am so proud of this cookbook. Anyone and everyone who has gotten it has given me such a positive review about it. Not only is it packed with my best recipes. There's 70 recipes in there. They're simple. They're easy to follow. They're recipes that include breakfast, lunch, dinner, desserts, snacks, and drinks. But there is also a meal prep guide, a grocery shopping list, creating healthy habits page, answers to your most frequently asked questions about diet and weight loss. There's an ingredient substitutions page to make each recipe gluten-free, dairy-free, vegetarian, or vegan, whatever your dietary restrictions are, and also a create your own perfect lunch page. The book is $19.99. It's on Amazon. You can find it through the show notes. There's a link to it. It's called Simple Balance Eats, and I hope you grab it. I hope you love it. Now let's get back to the show. So, Kim, how do you find the motivation to do all of this stuff? Like, where does your motivation come from?
Coffee. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, it could be coffee.
No,
so I was at a point where I was like, woke up just because I was looking forward to coffee. That's when I knew I had to, like,
totally done that.
Yeah. Wean myself off.
100%.
Yeah.
Where do I find the motivation?
Yeah.
So my job before I opened a studio, we did a lot of, like, goal setting. And so I'm like a goal setting nerd.
Yeah, same.
And I have, like, notebooks full of, like, what I want, like, a vision for what I want my life to look like.
Yeah.
5 years from now, 10 years from now. Honestly, like, that's my motivation.
Yeah.
I know what I want my life to feel like and what I want it to look like years down the line.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's so much stuff that I do day to day that, it has to get done, and the hustle is real.
Yeah.
But it's like I have to do all of that stuff and make strides every day in order for that bigger picture thing to happen.
Yes, that is true. And then, so have you set a goal and that time elapsed already? Like, let's say 4 or 5 years ago. Have you set a goal for now?
Specific goals?
Yeah.
Of course. Like, I set a ton of goals, and, like, they either weren't actually aligned with what I wanted. Like, I felt kind of like, oh, this is what I should do.
Yeah.
So then obviously it's not going to happen because I don't actually have the intrinsic motivation to do it, because it's not really what I want. But for the most part, humble brag here.
Yeah, no, you brag, girl. You should be bragging.
When I stop and look at, like, my life as a whole, it's actually exactly what I wanted to be doing. Like, 5 years ago when I wrote my goals down and I wrote this vision, like, I actually came across my, like, written out vision for my life on my computer, because I was, like, going through and organizing folders and getting rid of stuff. And it was like, I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm next to my husband, who, like, we're not married, basically. And, like, our dogs are sleeping by our feet, and it's like, I go to the studio because, like, I own my own studio, and all this stuff, and it's very much what I'm doing. And you know, some days you wake up and you're like, oh my god, this sucks, and like, I'm so tired. But overall, like, that's exactly what I'm doing. Like, I wake up next to Jake, and, like, our dogs are, I mean, they're all on my side of the bed, which is kind of annoying. Because, like, everyone always wants to, like, cuddle with me, and I'm like, I want my space. I just want to, like, sleep.
And all the paws. And
like, one is literally, like, the 50-pound dog is laying on top of my legs, like, not even, like, next to me. He's, like, on my legs. And then the other one, who's, like, close to 30 pounds, she's, like, laying on my pillow, like, on my head.
Yeah, these dogs, they've completely taken over. Sometimes
they're
I wake
very
up and
clingy.
I'm like, I always thought it was so disgusting, too, when I was like, why would that person let their dog sleep in their bed? And now Sage, like, comes in from outside, and she goes directly in my bed. I'm like, whatever. You just love them, so you just let it go.
Jake, oh my gosh. He'll, like, walk the dogs at night when I'm basically already in bed. And Brooklyn, our one dog, is, like, attached at my hip. Aww. Like, she's, like, my shadow. So when I'm in bed, she just wants to be in the room with me. Like, she will sit outside of the bedroom door staring at the doorknob if I'm in there and she's not. Aww. So, like, he'll open the door and she'll jump right up, and she'll jump up onto his pillows. And he's like, you just peed, and now you're on my pillows. Get off.
And we just, like, do it. Because
but we're just like,
they didn't wipe them.
Cute.
I know.
It's crazy.
It's funny, but you do it for the love of them, and So you completely met your goals
for the most part, yes. But I also, the same thing, like, you know, we've talked about balance and how I balance everything, and it's like, when you feel like something's off, you just have to, like, recalibrate. And I feel like I've done that with my goals so much over the years that they look completely different than they did 5 years ago. But overall, like, the big picture is what I want it to be.
Yes. And I'm sure once you're in the day-to-day, like, I think about this a lot, we're living the life, like, when you look back, you're gonna be like, those were the days, like, those were the good days. And we're so quick, like, to want to be somewhere else than we are. It's just, you have to appreciate and soak that in, because, you do have goals 5 years and 10 years from now, but soaking up and knowing that you're doing great, you're exactly where you should be, yet have strong aspirations for the future. I think, like, that's the secret right there.
And I mean, one of the things that I always had written down was, like, I can work from wherever. And one of the things that I love doing is just connecting with people. So meeting up with people at coffee shops and talking goals. And I love, like, I mentor new spin instructors. So, like, having coffee with them and chatting about what they want to be doing and all of that stuff. And it's like, I could have 3 meetings back to back at different coffee shops, and I get home and I'm like, geez, that was a crazy, intense day where I felt like I was just all over the place. But then I'm like, hold on a second. You just spent your afternoon meeting with people and like talking about God only knows what in coffee shops. Like you aren't working a 9 to 5. Like it's not, my days are different every day, and that's one of the things that I love about it. Even though I do kind of have like I don't want to call it a routine, because I've always been like, I don't have a routine. I hate routines. But like I do have a pretty structured schedule, but it always looks different, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
It does. Because when I first asked you about your day and like most days are different, I said most days are the same, and then you said no, they're always different.
But
they're
when
the
you
same.
look at it, they are the same. Like I wake up at 4:30 and I'm at the building until 12 or 1 o'clock, and I'm either teaching or I'm at the smoothie bar.
Yeah.
And then I have a few hours, but like those few hours always look different.
Yeah, exactly.
And then at night it's like,
so it's like same
wild card.
Yeah, similar thing, just this shuffle, like the shuffling within that time frame, which is why it's always different.
Yeah, and it just depends on what I have going on that week.
Yeah, but that's it. That's exactly it. You just have to like take a step back, because even if you reached your goals and you're where you want to be, you can make it a horrible experience if you don't sit and acknowledge like, hey, I was sitting there with 3 friends at a coffee break.
Yeah.
Like, that's the dream. I mean, with anyone in any situation that they are in life, you're exactly where you should be, and you just
I actually have that tattooed on my ribs.
You do?
I have Beatles lyrics on my
God.
There's nowhere you can be that isn't where you're meant to be.
Exactly, that's it. So you can choose in any moment to be happy and appreciative with where you are, or you can be like, this sucks, I'm not with the right boyfriend, or my job sucks, or you can see what it is that you want, and know that it's coming to you, and know that these things are happening, so that you can learn to find the right man or find the right job in the future.
Yeah. And seriously, like, so I went to school for like 5 different things.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what I actually wanted to do. It's until I knew.
Yeah, until you're
right. But leading up to that point, like all of the things that I majored in college, and all of the jobs that I've had, well, for the most part, all the jobs I've had, I have learned so much from each thing.
Yeah.
And when I look at what I'm doing right now, it's everything.
Exactly.
It's all of them. Like, I went to school for fashion design, and I went to school for music, and I went to school for early childhood ed. So, like, I wanted to teach. I wanted to do fashion. All of that stuff. I design all of the retail that we have in our space. So, like, there's my fashion design. I make playlists, and all of my stuff is based around music. So, and people will come into my class, and they're like, oh, my God, your music is always so good.
Yeah.
And, like, you're counting, like, everything's always to the beat. And I'm like, it's because I'm very musical. And, like, I'm really into music. And I went to school for education too, and I'm constantly teaching people and mentoring. So it's like everything.
Exactly. It all comes together.
Yeah.
Somehow or another.
Yeah. So like whatever you're doing, like it's just leading you to something else.
Exactly.
That is just bigger and better.
That's the way I see it. And maybe that's why we get along.
Maybe.
We're like, I just can't help but be positive. People think it's obnoxious sometimes. They're like, why are you always smiling? And I'm like, what is so...
Why aren't you?
Like, and then, God forbid, like, one day where I'm, like, not in a great mood, and I'm just, like, in an average mood. People are like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I'm allowed to not, smile from ear to ear.
Seriously?
Like, it's just, like, like, how I am. But, we talked about motivation a bit, right? But what about when excuses comes up or hard days come up? Because not all days are perfect, and you don't always want to have to go to the studio, I'm sure, right? So when those days or when things come up, what do you do to counteract them?
I don't know. I feel like part of the whole balance thing for me is, like, if I have days where it's, like, absolutely crazy and I feel completely burnt out and exhausted, I kind of not go with the other extreme the next day, but almost, like, to kind of reset.
Yeah.
Like, I will take a day and not actually do any admin work.
Yeah.
And I'll sit and I'll binge Netflix.
Yeah.
Because I just need to not do anything and, like, not use my brain.
Yes.
But then, you know, the next day I get back into it.
Okay, so that's a good tip.
So, like, overall, I feel like the days are balanced, but maybe not every single day.
Yeah.
Like, those 24 hours, it's like a week. I'll take it, like, a week at a time.
Yeah. No, that makes complete sense. And similarly, like, I shared a post earlier about how I try to, you know, make sure my mornings, I wake up early each morning, but some mornings it's like your body needs sleep. Yeah. I'm just going to sleep until the very last minute, whether that's 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. Like,
oh my God,
10 a.m.
10 a.m. is, like, the middle of the day for me.
I know.
Sounds amazing. Actually, I think the last time I tried to sleep in, I might have slept until, like, 7:30. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just, like, I can't.
I know. I really can't sleep until 10, but I'll lay around some days.
Oh, yeah.
So before we wrap up, I didn't get to ask you yet about how do you balance what you're eating? Do you eat healthy the majority of the time? Do you like, what does your eating habits look like, and how do you balance that out?
So pretty much, I mean, I'm very lucky in the sense that, like, I own a smoothie bar.
Yeah, so, true. And it's all delicious.
And it's, like, it's all really simple ingredients. We don't use dairy.
Yeah.
Like, we have Greek yogurt for some things, but for the most part, we don't use dairy, so it's great for me because I am lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
And so pretty much, I mean, breakfast and lunch, I eat there. Like, I have a smoothie every day. Like, if I'm up at 4:30, by 6, I have a smoothie.
So you just head to the studio and have it.
Yeah. Well, I say 6, but I'll say by 7.
Yeah.
By 7, I have a smoothie. Like, that is my breakfast. Yeah. That's the first, like, meal that I'm having. And then I have a cup of coffee at, like, 11. And then, lunch I pretty much have. I try not to have another smoothie because, like, I can't just live off of smoothies. Yeah. I mean, I can. Yeah. But I know that that's not
you want to balance
for me.
Yeah.
But lunch I'll pretty much, like, typically I'll go home and I'll make something. Or if I do meal prep, I'm very, at this point, inconsistent with my meal prepping. It used to be so good.
We got a cookbook in your hands, so we're doing...
Seriously, like, I've made, like, half of the stuff in your cookbook, and it's so good.
You're so great. You always tag me in it, so I know that you're actually doing it.
Yeah. I'm not lying. I do. But I'll make stuff, like, on Saturday or Sunday because those days I'm only at the cafe until, 12. Yeah. I'm not just at the cafe. But for the rest of the day, like, I don't have to be anywhere, really. So those are the days that I'll do meal prep or whatever else.
Yeah, so you kind of have it scheduled out where you do something like that.
And then I don't want to lie and say that, like, every week I do meal prepping. Because there's weeks where, you know, every day I'm like, oh my God, I don't have anything to eat. And I'll have to, like, go to the grocery store and buy something just to make that night.
Yeah. And that happens. That's totally, like, that's what I want people to understand. Like, that's totally okay. Like, no one is perfect.
Oh my God, no.
Behind the scenes when, you know.
Behind the scenes, my life is a mess. Only sometimes.
Sometimes. Yeah, seriously. Sometimes I'm like, I'm professional and put together. Like,
I know. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, I am so good at doing all of this stuff, and, like.
It's like 2 hours later.
Yeah.
Like eating a can
of literally my dog just, like, walked around in her own shit. Yeah. I have to, like, give her a bath.
I know. Or I'm just, like, eating, like, literally on my way here, I was, like, eating a pepper, like, an apple. I'm like, what is my life? Like, what is going on?
I know.
Craziness.
Yeah.
But it all works out because we just trudge on through. But
it sounds so great. We just trudge on through.
We're doing it, and then we find ways. We connect, and we like. That's what it's about too. Finding an accountability friend or a partner or whatever situation that you're in life. You find people to connect with and relate to,
and
you're
like,
not alone.
No, and it's really comforting to know that. You know, like, even people who, I mean, social media is great, but also makes it look like everyone's lives are so perfect. Like, you even said to me, the first time we met, you're like, oh my God, like, how do you do everything? And I'm like, yo, my life is not that put together.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. Some days are just crazy, and you feel like you're losing your mind. And then there's other days where, like, I go to bed at night and I'm like, this was such a perfect day. Like, I taught a class, I worked at the smoothie bar, I had a couple meetings in the afternoon, I cooked dinner, or like Jake and I went out to dinner, and then we come home and like we're settled in for the night and we're just hanging out with our dogs, doing crossword puzzles like the old people we are.
I love it.
And
yeah, and in any day, you're just doing the best you can. So even some days, super long, super stressful, well, let's pull out the positives out of that, and, like, let's end our day like that, and then you start off fresh the next day. That's it.
Like, pretty much, at the end of every day, if the day felt crazy, I, like, reflect on it, and I'm like, okay, what made this day feel crazy? And what can I do different tomorrow? Like, I always have, I'm a notebook freak. I have, like, 12 notebooks, and they're all for different things. But one of them, I have, like, a rolling to-do list. And it, like, whatever I don't get done, like, that's the stuff that I prioritize. Like, at the top of the day, this is the stuff that, like, needs to get done today. This is the stuff that, like, ideally would get done today, but if not, it can get pushed to tomorrow, but then, like, tomorrow it's priority. But sometimes, like, my day just gets absolutely insane, and I get no actual work done that's on my to-do list. And I just have to reset and...
that's it.
Start over the next day. Because... it was definitely like yesterday no matter how much coffee or water I was drinking, I was just not waking up and I could not focus. And I worked the smoothie bar for 6 hours and I got no work done. Like, I felt like I was sitting there staring at my computer screen and, like, half focusing. So there's days like that, and then there's days like today where I'm, like, hyper focused and I get everything done.
It just
goes. I'm like, oh, yes. Nailed it.
I know. It's crazy how from day to day or moment to moment.
I'm
like, wasn't I just feeling great 4 minutes ago? I'm not really sure what happened.
I know.
Or, like, motivated, excited, like, this is a great idea. And I'll look at it an hour later, I'm like, what the hell was I thinking?
Like I was saying, like, after 5 o'clock, I'm completely useless most of the time. Sometimes I get my second wind, and I work from, like, 5 to 7, and I get more done in those 2 hours than I got done all morning. It's, like, that's what I'm saying. Every single day is...
It's all different.
Completely different.
We're all just...
doing the thing.
Yeah, we're all, like... we have our own path, our own journey, and just doing the best. Kim, you were so much fun to have on.
You're
seriously.
So Thanks.
I will have to have you back on in the future. But in the meantime, how can people find you? How can people go to your studio, check out your classes?
So for the studio, like I said, we just rebranded. So the website now is grantbuildingnj, like New Jersey.com. You can find us on Facebook at The Grant Building,
Yeah.
and Instagram at The Grant Building.
Everything's at the Grant Building
Everything's
now.
super consistent,
And it's
it's so easy.
But it's so cute.
Thanks.
You guys, you have to check it out. It's very, like, I just love, every time I go in there, I want to Instagram it, put it on my stories. It's one of those places.
Which is so funny because I hate when people are like, that's so Instagrammable.
It is.
But
Everything
my
in your
entire
studio.
building is. And it's like, that wasn't intentional, but I guess I just have really good taste. I don't know.
You guys have to check her out. You have to check out her classes. Go to the smoothie bar, and the smoothie bowl was what we had last time we went in.
Yeah.
Very yummy.
Yeah. And we had a whole conversation about how acai bowls are not all smoothie bowls.
Yes. Just because it's an acai bowl doesn't mean it's
if it doesn't have acai in there, it's not an acai bowl, guys. It's a smoothie bowl.
So go get the real thing. Go get the real smoothie bowls. Go check him out.
And if you want to stalk me personally, because I'm really fun and you want to see my dogs, at Kimberly OH _ on Instagram.
Oh, and the new website. So check out the new website.
Yeah,
she just revamped.
Everything's on there.
Revamped.
Yeah, I combined 4 different websites into one website.
That's amazing.
Without, I think, successfully, without making it word vomit.
Yeah.
Which was a struggle.
No.
But yeah.
You did a great job.
Thanks.
Well, thank you again for coming on, and we'll talk to you all soon.
Bye.
Bye. So I hope you loved this episode, and if you did, feel free to let me know. I love hearing from you guys. The best way to really reach me is through my Instagram. You can find me at ohowhealthy. It's OHHOWHEALTHY. Send me a message. Let me know what you thought about the podcast, and let's connect. I share most of my tips, information, stories all over there. So, and if you find me, let me know. Say, hey, I found you through your podcast, so that I can learn where all you new lovely followers are coming from. All right, so I hope everyone has a great rest of your week, and I'll be talking to all of you very soon.